Here's where we're starting with today, everybody. So is it okay to decline your boss's friend request?
Yeah!
Oh, wow. On Facebook or Instagram? Really? Well, Metro UK interviewed an HR expert who said it is best to speak to your boss in person and tell them you don't want colleagues on social media. Do we agree? Like, I want to say this. You have a big title at the Walrus. You're the boss there. Are you, like, creeping on people going, friend me, I want to friend you?
So not only am I in a position of power, and that's what's at the heart of this discussion, but I also worked at Twitter, so I think a lot about social media etiquette. And I think as a boss, you should not be friend requesting or following folks on social media unless social media is part of the job. If you are working on digital strategy, if it's part of events work, that's one thing. But in terms of being friends, you're not friends, you're colleagues. Maybe in time you'll become friends. Because I think it's stressful when your boss, who literally signs the checks, is saying, hey, I want to be your Facebook friend, because you might not be comfortable sharing certain details of your life. Now, it's a little bit different if the request comes from a colleague to a colleague, or even from an employee to the boss. But if it's work-related, sure, if you're using digital and social media in your work, but otherwise, I think you should have a fun evening and weekend free of work.
For you, because you are the boss, but is there not such a thing? We've talked on the show a lot about corporate culture, and then an employee is an extension of the corporate culture. So before you hire someone, are you checking out their social media feeds?
For me, only if we are hiring a digital director or a social media producer. So we are going to Google them to see what type of the work they're doing. And I think it really depends on the job, but it is common. We Google most things and most people.
Okay.
But if you have a Facebook account, which is personal and requires access, that's quite different than being public on Twitter.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, and I think that's the difference, right? I mean, I don't use Facebook, so I'm assuming you, in order for someone to follow you, you have to approve it, yes? But I feel like there are a lot of people out there on Twitter and on Instagram, and it doesn't work that way. You can set your Instagram account to private, and if that's the case, you have taken a step to make sure that your Saturday night activities aren't being broadcast, and that is strategic. So it's one thing if you have an account that is private and then your boss is like, follow, then I think you can have that conversation, be like, hey, I'm a responsible person in the world who understands that my professional life can be affected by what I post. So I have taken the responsible decision to set my account to private. And for that reason, boss lady or boss man, I don't want you to follow me. But if you have a public account, if you have a public Instagram account and
or TikTok
and you post, and on Sunday night you are out and you're having a great time, and then you go to late night eats at 2 a.m. and then you don't get home until 4 a.m. and you post about it, but then you're not feeling well the next day, and then you call in and it's a free world. You can follow anybody free, and your boss is following you. What happens then? Like, who's in the wrong?
I think either way, honest conversations. So I think it's totally fair to say to a colleague, but especially a boss, hey, I use my social media for personal. It's not connected to my job, so no offense, but I'm not going to accept you as a friend. But to your point, if you were someone...
Sorry, can I just pause you for 1 second?
It is
a conversation where you seem like you're a lovely boss, and I can imagine having that conversation. Let's be honest, not everyone has a boss like Jen Hollett, right? And so actually just even that idea of sitting down with your boss being like, I saw your friend request, and I'm gonna have to say I'm gonna ignore it.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Do you just ignore it then?
Well, it's easy, yes, right?
Maybe that's the answer.
I feel like I already have a whole bunch of friend requests that I don't see. I'm not on Facebook that often, and it is unique to Facebook, as you pointed out. But I think the answer to this question is, like, for bosses, unless you are working in a non-hierarchical boss situation, which, let's be honest, they can hire and fire you, so this doesn't exist. You shouldn't be friend requesting your employees, period.
Agreed.
I will just say, my daughter is 9 years old. This is her generation. They live online, literally everything. And I say to her, as I say to myself, if you don't want to see it on a billboard on the side of the highway, don't post it.
No matter who's following.
No matter who's following.
Thanks for watching. We've got lots more discussion and debates on everything from food and fashion to pop culture and current events. Don't forget to click like and subscribe.